Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and we are on our Dino a Day review series, finally on to the Rexes. Now, this is probably one of the greatest tames in the game. I know I say that a lot of tames, but this is probably up there because it's got so many uses. It can raid, it can do bosses, it can tank, it can do damage. The Rexes on official nowadays are almost competent enough to keep up with some of the Gigas on official. It's insane. I mean, you've got some of these stats that are just crazy, like damage in the give or take 2,500, 3,000, and then their actual health ability is in like the 70s and 80,000s, which is just insane. These things can do some crazy damage output. So you've obviously got your normal Rexes, you've got your tech Rexes, and you've got pretty much anything that you could ask for. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you, I'm going to level them to their max level. Right now with the map that we are on, you can get an 88 bonus levels. So that's just, how it is. And I'll show you the differences because there's quite a few big differences between the different types of Rexes. And are you serious right now, Pteranodon? You're just going to hang out right there, my dude? Whatever. I'm so passive. Please don't do that. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and give these guys some pretty nice little stat boosts here. Nothing special there. And boom. And I think there's one more. Is it this guy? Nope, I got him. Was it this guy? It's this guy. Alright, so basically, other than the fact that they're pretty amazing at what they do, Rexes are overall awesome tames. You've got X-Rexes, you've got Tech Rexes, you've got normal Rexes. So the X-Rex, the one we happen to be on top of right now, this guy is actually a little bit of different stats. They have reduced health, and they have increased damage output. So they do more damage by like, I don't know, it's something like 4 or 5%. It's very small, not noticeable difference that doesn't make it super valuable, but it's a little bit different than a normal Rex. So with these things, you can reach some pretty crazy high melee damages. As a matter of fact, if you were to use these things in just pure level melee, I mean, you can get some pretty crazy stats on them. So there's 1,600. That's not necessarily something that's unachievable. One of my buddies over on official said they have theirs. Whether or not this is the truth, I don't know, at 2,500. So I don't know if that's the case or not. But if that is the case, that's insane. And some Rexes can do some serious damage to pretty much anything. So I'll show you what they do. There you go. At 1,200 damage a bite, that is not too shabby. They get a whole bunch of prime meat. They get a whole bunch of everything in general. So Rexes are kind of like your all-around useful meat running tame because they get best overall, like top of the class. Only the Giga beats it really. Raw meat. And they also get some pretty good hide and keratin as well. Now, prime meat, they are also pretty high on the class, so, take that for what you will. So that's an X-Rex. Nothing super special about it. This is the original Rex. Now, these guys right here, they are pretty nice as well. They have the basic stats because this is a normal Rex. Again, not a Tech Rex. We'll talk about the difference here in a second. You can get, again, their damage and health are pretty high stats on these things. I've seen Rexes easily hit 70k. So there you go. 70k is achievable. Increasing their stam if you want to, increasing some weight on these guys. And this is your new Soaker Rex. Just something that can just destroy stuff because, Rexes are really good at that. They have really high HP and melee output damages. So the Rexes are really quite talented at that. You don't want to really level HP on your X-Rexes because they do increased damage and reduced, that's a really cool Pteranodon, and reduced overall, reduced HP, increased damage. So, alright, so now we get onto the Tech Rexes. Now this is where it gets interesting because Tech Rexes spawn 30 levels higher. So on official servers, if your Rexes are spawning in at 150, Tech Rexes are capable of spawning in at 180. So if you get a perfect tame, they come out at level 270 instead of 225, which is a huge difference. So the people that have Tech Rexes on official servers have some pretty crazy stats on these things. They're pretty awesome overall. They have increased stats, obviously, which is huge, but I don't know, they look pretty cool, in my opinion. So, oh well. But anyways, let's continue. So, with these guys, what you can do with them, pretty easy. There are 3 main types, and I'll show you the 3 right here. You've got your tanks, you've got your damage dealers, and then you've kind of got your raiding Rexes, and I'll explain that in a second. And you kind of so a boss Rex, what you want to probably do is you probably want to split your levels pretty evenly across the board, and let's say just go 44 health, and then 44 into melee, because you're probably not going to be riding them a lot of the time. Some people ride their Rexes into battle, but not a lot of people do. And you got some pretty good stats. This will easily shred bosses. 74,000 health and 1,100 damage. Yes, no problem. Obviously, these are not normal wild. It's slightly, I think it's like 20% increased on single players. But anyways, unofficial people have well over those stats. So, what else can you do with these things? They're actually pretty good for raid defense and raid attack as well, because you can crank up their stamina to make them last literally forever. Let's say you want to go 5,500 in stam, just because, why not, right? You can crank up some movement speed. I've seen some Rexes that are pretty crazy fast. You obviously don't have to do this, but I'll show you real quick what it looks like when you do that. And then some melee damage as well. And this is really just meant to be a Rex that can just pump out some damage quickly and escape. Just so you can kind of see, they go quite a bit faster when they're 50% faster. And because they can go for a lot longer, they quite literally have that ability to move around pretty fast. So you can see I've got some pretty good speed on this guy. He can deal some damage and then run back to base pretty quickly. And because he has that 5,000 stamina, as long as he chooses not to take a poop every now and then, he can dole some damage. So, pretty cool stuff. The Rexes are probably one of my favorite tames in the game. Because there's so much versatility with them. So you've got the boss Rex off to the left. You've got this guy, which can be used as a general base defense Rex, which is something that's quite nice to have. And then you've got your last Rex right here. Now this guy has as you can see, Tech Rex saddle on him. In order to charge this thing up, you need to go ahead and grab yourself some element. And with said element, you can destroy a base easily. What you really want to do with these guys, because they do have quite a bit of damage on these tech cannons, you want to have a pretty high health stat on these guys. So if you're going to use this guy for raiding, having a high health so you can soak a little bit of turrets is never a bad idea. And then having some good stam is never a bad idea, so you can back in and out pretty quickly. Weight isn't totally necessary, but I mean, you can just crank, if you really wanted to, crank some health into this guy. I don't know if Rex is on official servers. Someone will have to tell me about this. I'm sure they have, but if you just pump health, if they can pass 100k, I'd almost guarantee you they can. So, Rexes, right? Now that we're on, we're going to go ahead and take this guy and put him in a cryopod. And by that I mean soul ball, which is way better. And pick up that element and throw him out so he's not super pissed off for being low on health. Now, this Rex, he's got his Tech Rex saddle on him. You can see it right now, obviously. Man of Death, so on and so forth. If we take him and we put some element on him, we'll do it again. All you gotta do, hit your button that you have on whatever console you are playing. If you're on PC, it is your control button. And you'll see him get this little like thing going. You can still walk in this mode, you just cannot bite. Basically this activates your tech cannon. You can see that right there. He's got pretty good accuracy with this, so you can shred things pretty quickly. It does quite a bit of damage as well. Now the really awesome thing is it does a ton of damage to turrets and a ton of damage to in general structures. Now with this, pretty useful. Left click is the fire button. Right click is zoom in. Now it does only have so much of a distance on it, so you can't like, how do I say this properly? So you can only go so far. It's not like you can just go infinite distance. You're probably going to have to be inside of turret range to get a little bit of damage on these things. But with a heavy damage increase, these things can do a lot of damage to a lot of stuff really fast. One of the best things that you can do in a raid defense, someone to push you with a racer or something like that, break out this guy and start shooting at the platform on top of their head. And because it does that increased damage to structures and players, you're going to have a lot of defense capability with this. So defensively, it's really good at defending against those racer pushes because it'll shred those platforms. And offensively, because typically players have their turrets set on players only, what you can do is you can find corners, because the head's Rex head will stick out, wow English, and you can shoot down on their base or shoot left or right or something along those lines. Now Diplos have the highest health stat right now, but you can see right now that this guy is, you can do a lot of damage. I don't really have a better way to describe it other than you can do a lot of damage with this. I can go ahead and spawn in some structures so you can see that difference. Let's just bring in a turret. I wonder if you can still damage your own. We'll find out really quickly. But he does a bunch of damage. So there's that. Let's go ahead and grab some thatch. Why not? Let's plop some of this down right here. So you can see the differences. He's got there, and a tech turret, why not, right? So basically full health, you can see that 2400. One shot from a tech Rex, if it still works, boop, blasts that into oblivion. One shot onto a tech foundation, no increase in your tech Rex saddle, and it just did 700 damage to that. Now this guy right here also took 700 damage. So on a tech anything, if you shoot it with a tech Rex, you can shred it pretty quickly. You can see that right now, and you can literally just continue to blast away, and that's the awesome thing. There's no overheating on this guy. He takes 4 per shot, so per element you put inside this thing, he can do give or take 20 shots. It is not give or take, it's literally 20 shots. So there you go. So easy to shred things with the tech Rex, especially with the tech saddle on him. Really OP overall tame, just crazy in my opinion. I mean, look at that. He can literally shoot from his face. Pretty cool in my opinion, but oh well. Anyways, hopefully this video helps you out, and hopefully you start using some Rexes. Alright, teach out.